here we're at the Orlando airport, and my producer wants this shot. All right, he wants to show you that we got up early in the morning, and here we're going to go to Yale University today, to the Center of British Art. There's a painting there that I want to capture for the Iranian audience. Yeah, that's what this whole thing is all about, trying to allure, win, charm Iranians who are fascinated with Kurosh, their founder. And there's a painting pertaining to him at the Yale University that I want to get. Enjoy the scenery, enjoy the sun coming up over the horizon, and thank you. We're here at the Yale Center for British Art, which is the largest collection of British art outside of England. My producer says it reminds him a bit of some of the stuff that was shot in Oxford University, the architecture, which I'll show you. But as he said, we're not here for architecture, we're here for art. And there's one particular piece of art that I want to get at. It's John Martin's Feast of Belshazzar. What fascinates me about it? Well, there's several things that fascinates me. This is actually, he wasn't obviously on location. He's going off what Daniel wrote in the Bible, in Daniel chapter 5, about that feast with the handwriting on the wall when Belshazzar makes the mistake of throwing a party and drinking out of the cups and the silverware of the temple that had been, the stuff that had been captured by Nebuchadnezzar. He's drinking out of it and pays the price. God draws the line and said, you've gone too far, gone too far. That's what we want to look at in a few moments. We're looking at John Martin's Belshazzar's Feast. It's a copy. Let me tell you a few things about it from what I can recall. Number one, it was painted in 1821. It had a glorious introduction to planet Earth. In fact, it was so popular in Britain that they had to put a railing around it to stop the crowds from pressing in. The original is, of course, 5 feet by 8 feet. This is a fraction of it. We've come up from Florida to see this. I wanted to introduce this to Iranians in particular, so that they could come, because what it's capturing is a scene. The armies of Kurosh were outside, breaking in, about to kill Belshazzar the king. I don't know where he is on the shot, but the figure in black is the prophet Daniel. And I think that Iranians across the planet would be interested in this particular painting. The original is in a private collection. I don't know where. At the time that I checked it out, it was at the New York Met. It was on loan to them, but it was not on display. In fact, somebody said that maybe they took it off of display because of the war and they were fearful of anything happening to it. But this is a copy, and it's my prayer, as good as the Iranians were to me. I was treated royally when I went to Iran, when I went to Shiraz, when I went to Mashhad, when I went to different places there. And the least I felt I could do for this telecast that we're doing is to introduce Iranians to this place, to say to you, if you're ever in New Haven, up at Yale or in Connecticut, come and visit it. That painting is a testament to the leadership of Kurosh and what he did in overthrowing the Babylonian Empire. There's not a lot more I can tell you about it other than that. I suppose I could have taken stock footage and used stock footage, but I wanted to be here, to stand on the ground where it was, to say to my Iranian friends, this is your culture. This is your culture. This is your king who's been painted by the British painter John Martin in 1821. You ought to come. You ought to visit. You ought to see this for yourself. For me, this day started out, I hardly slept, but I had to get to my producer to be at his place by 6:30. I got there at 6:15. We headed to the Orlando airport. We've been on the road ever since, from Orlando to Washington, Dulles. From Dulles, we went to Hartford, Connecticut. That's where the plane landed, and then drove here. It's been an exhilarating day. I can't put into words what it has done for me to finally stand before John Martin's painting of Belshazzar's feast. It's the fulfillment of a dream, and I hope something infectious happens as you watch this video, to know that we took the time to travel there. We took the time. We didn't just buy stock footage. We took the time and came to Yale, came to the British Center, the Center for British Art, shot what we wanted. Let's see how God touches it and how it all turns out in the video that we're finally putting together, Kurosh the Great and the prophecy of Daniel 9:25.